everybody, welcome back. Today, I would like to say that I'm angry, and I am angry, okay? But mostly I'm just sad, disappointed. I feel like in a lot of ways, the stuff that we're going to talk about today is bad news, and it is just very unfortunate for the competitive Pokemon community. But you know, the competitive Pokemon community has never really been about what TPCI wants. It's been about the people. It's been about, you know, the community. So hopefully, you know, we're still all really nice to each other. And we aren't at each other's throats for championship points this year. We'll see. But today, we're going to talk about all of the changes that they have announced for the 2025 season of competitive Pokemon. Now, this is, you know, obviously this is Go and VGC and TCG. But mostly we're going to focus on VGC because that's, you know, what the channel is about. No fancy editing today. No, nothing crazy. Just me and you and this list of garbage takes from the Pokemon Company International. Before I get into it, I want to say that, like, I understand why these changes are being made, okay? I understand they want probably to know approximately how many people are going to be coming to Worlds. They don't want to have to guess. They don't want to have to, like, do a bunch of shit at the last minute, but I don't care, okay? I don't care. You're a company. Obviously, you see some kind of value in the service that competitive Pokemon is providing you. You continue to fund it. You're not going to spend any less money on any event except for Worlds, okay? Obviously, this drives people to your game, and that's why you keep running it. Spend the money. I don't give a damn. I don't care, okay? Now, let's talk about these changes, because they suck, and I'm sad, and I'm angry, and I don't know how to feel. I was really going to push for Worlds this year, and, well, I don't know if I can, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm good enough now, and that really sucks. So, basically, this just says that the qualifications are changing. It's going to be based on rating region, and there's going to be a fixed number of invites per region, per, you know, division, obviously. And for North America, which is where I live, for VGC, 75 people. 75 people from North America to get to go to the World Championships. This year, probably more than 211 people qualified to go to the World Championships. That is at least 136 people left. That is a change of like, they cut it down by like 60%, almost 70%. That is a ridiculous amount. That is an insane amount to cut it down by. But there you go. So for North America, only 75 people are allowed to go. And that's the same for Europe. Latin America only gets 50. Oceania only gets 20. Instead of having like a fixed CP bar, everybody from any region can go. Basically, you're telling us all to fight each other for points, because that's really what's going to happen here. The people at the top of the championship points ladder right now have like 1,600 points. Obviously, the people, you know, that just barely qualified only have 500. That is a large difference. And even now, more than ever, like, if you can't afford to go to events, like, sorry, like, you're just not gonna make it. You better win that one regional you're going to, because that's the only way that you're gonna qualify to go to the World Championships, I guess. For TCG, it is also a big decrease. I didn't do the math, but 125 sounds like a lot less people. TCG events are, by and large, a lot larger than VGC events. And for Go, I don't know if this is a big change, because I feel like Go is pretty small. Maybe it's about the same, but having VGC and Go be exactly the same for North America is kind of nuts. Now, they also have introduced more best finish limits, and these best finish limits are per event type. So this year we're gonna have league challenges and league cups for VGC, which are the same as like TCG leagues and TCG cups, my understanding. They're two different kinds of events. They have different championship points payouts. And then we're going to have global challenges, online events. I assume there's probably only going to be 3 of them, because the best finish limit is 3, and that's about how many we've had every other year. That makes sense to me. So for local events, if you're going to locals every weekend, only your best 4 league challenges and your best 4 league cups count. So total, from local events, you're allowed to earn 260 championship points, which is, you know, I mean, that's like decent if you come in first place 8 times, which is, you know, maybe possible in your region. I don't know. There's a lot of like locals around, so like maybe that's doable. It's 260 points. That's like not an insignificant number of points, but you definitely can't qualify for Worlds just from going to local events, which means you're gonna have to shell out money to go to regionals and travel and go to, like, you know, international championships and travel. And honestly, that's just been my biggest problem. It's going to continue to be my biggest problem. Is it's hard to have the time and money to travel somewhere for a weekend, especially if you work weekends. And now I know there are a lot of people, at least a lot of like the people that I see on like Twitter, right? They don't work weekends. Like for them, like they don't have to take any time off. Like me, I work weekends. I have to request time off of work. I have to eat, losing, you know, like 3 or 4 days of pay. Because I don't always have like the vacation time, the paid time off to put in for 3 entire days. I can't always pick up shifts on my days off. It doesn't work out that way. It makes it very complicated. And you know, maybe I'll get a new job this year. I don't know, but especially when a lot of these league challenges and league cups are also on weekends, it's gonna be very tough. And if you work weekends, I'm sorry. I feel you. It's gonna be painful this year. I get it. I'm sorry. Global challenges, okay. Like maybe I can do that. I don't know if I'm gonna come first place in a global challenge. They're best of 1. Like online ladder battles, they're very, very difficult because you really have no idea what you're gonna face. And 170 is like a decent chunk of points. Like if you come in first place 3 times, that's a lot of points, but that's not realistic. Nobody's gonna come in first place in all 3 of these, like ever. It's very hard. It's a very difficult thing, and it's very hard to know when to stop playing because obviously, you know, like people in other rating zones are gonna have access to the same stuff, and like you're never gonna know. I feel like I'm ranting. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully you're vibing with what I'm putting out. My sad, angry vibes. Oh. Now, regional and special events. 6 regionals. And 6 regionals and internationals. Okay. So, basically, if you go to all 3 international championships and then go to 3 regionals, like, all 6 of those will count. Which is interesting. I believe that the point amounts are the same for everything, which is very interesting that Go and VGC and TCG are all having the same point payouts. That's kind of new. The same kickers and everything. But, you know, if you go to more than 6 regionals, only your top 6 are going to count. Like, those other points, they just don't matter. You wasted money going to that event, which is very, very silly feeling. Like, we had best finish limits last season, but they were just for travel awards. Like, any points that you earned counted. Now, this best finish limit is for your point total. So, like, you go to all 3 international championships, and, ooh, that's interesting. I'm not really sure if best finish limit is most points or, like, your best finish. Because if you come in first in place in a regional, and you come in, like, 16th place in an international championship, the international championship's worth more points. I'm sure. I assume it's points. Dear God, I hope it's points. And obviously, there's other stuff we'll get to here that's not really make first place matter. You come in, like, you know, 2nd place at a regional. You come in, like, top 32 in an international. Obviously, international is more points, but the regional placement's better. So hopefully it means points and not actual placement. Because if it's actual placement, that's really, really, really rough. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this definitely, like, hits, like, our sense of community. Like, obviously, you know, you watch people playing each other out at a regional, and, like, literally the person that comes in first place can, even more than ever, because, you know, obviously if the person in 2nd place at the regional needed exactly however many points to, like, make their World's End fight, I guess that matters. But now more than ever, like, you could knock somebody out of the standings by winning more points than them in a regional. And that's really cutthroat. That's actually insane. Now the booster pack pricing has been expanded. I guess if you care about that, if you get top 128, you get packs now. Or no, sorry, if you get what player? Okay, yeah, if you get like top 128, you get packs now. If you get top 256 at a really big event, you get packs now. I guess. Oh boy, I get to open TCG packs. I'm so excited. That's just silly. This feels like they're giving me what are they? This feels like they're pouring salt on the wound, because like it's gonna be so much harder to qualify. But you know what? If you do a little bit less good, you'll get 8 packs. You know, you can open some trading card game pack. That'll make you feel better. Here's a candy bar. You know, like here's your lollipop at the dentist office. Now, it does say here that they're maintaining the increases, so this could be a typo. It's very possible that it's a typo, but it looks like the VGC prizes have actually gone down. Oh no, it looks like they changed it already. Did they change it already? I swear it was just a different number on my phone. Yeah, it was a typo. So the pricing is staying the same. Like, that's fine, I guess. Money is good if you can, you know, top events. Like, that's a reason to go and, like, top these events. You can get money if you do really well. But, like, obviously, you have to do really well to get money at these events. Originally, there was a typo. It said 5,000. Like, they were just taking $1,000 away from VGC, which would be absolutely scuffed. Let me tell you. The travel prizes are changing, but, like, honestly, don't worry about the travel prizes. Like, you got to worry about qualifying so hard. Don't worry about the travel prizes. If you were already worried about travel prizes, you're going to have no problems with these changes, because you were already shooting it for, you know, like top 8, top 16. But for the average everyday guy like me and most of you that are going to watch this video, it's just going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder to qualify. It's going to make the community smaller. There are going to be less people at Worlds next year. This year, there's going to be so many people at Worlds. It's going to maybe be the biggest World Championships ever. And I think that's great. I don't care what you think about it's too easy to qualify for Worlds. You got your wish. Be careful what you wish for, because you got it. And everybody's pissed. But this is going to probably be the biggest World Championships ever. And I think that's great, except for the fact that it's being held in Hawaii, which is unfortunate, which I don't agree with. We should probably hold Worlds in a more sustainable location. But I guess next year, you know, if there's only going to be a total of like less than 200 people who qualify for World Championships in North America, or no, 200 people who qualify for World Championships for VGC, period, then you know what? I guess hold it wherever the fuck you want, right? Like, who cares? Hold it wherever you want. Because it's going to be such a small amount of people now. I mean, yeah, I guess it'll still be, like, total between all of the events. It'll still be, you know, like 700-800 people. But that's less than just the VGC portion of one regional sometimes. Like, that is very small, probably, compared to how many people qualified this year. And that just sucks. It just sucks. And I'm like, you know, I'm just kind of like going around, like picking things out, like explaining things as we go and being mad about things as we go. And I'm sorry if that's confusing, but like, honestly, it's the way that I feel today. It is the way that I feel today. This is not going to be a very fancy, coherent video, and I apologize. And if you're 15 minutes in already, hopefully you're okay with that. Now they did say that if you win a regional or you win, or you go top 4 at an international challenge, you will automatically get an invite, and those invites will not count towards the people. So, like, Wolfie Glick wins, you know, 3 regionals again. He is actually taking up 3 invites because he won 3 regionals. But he isn't taking away from the 75. Like, his points basically don't matter after he wins the first regional, except for Travel Awards, which is nice. Okay? That is good. That is at least something positive to look at. So, like, however many regionals we have, I don't know how many regionals we usually have. Let's say there's, like, 15, and then there's the 3 ICs. Let's say that's 4, 12, 15, and special events. I don't know. Let's say there's a total of, like, 40 people who get their invites through stuff like that. And that's assuming it's 40 different people, and, you know, we don't have people, you know, listed twice. That does help a little bit. All right, that does make the number, like, at least, you know, more than 100 for just North America. That's also assuming that the people who win all of those events are from North America, because that is spread out across everything, because anybody from any region can go to any event in any other region, and it still counts, because that's how the tournament structure has worked, which doesn't make any sense if we're only having fixed invites for each region. I'm honestly, it's all very confusing, and I'm sorry. It's confusing on purpose, it seems like. But, you know, push all that aside. Let's talk about the tournament formats are going to change a little bit. Instead of being... It seems like the amount of Swiss rounds are going to be slightly smaller. Let's see. I would have to look at the actual one right now to get, like, the total full picture. But it looks like there's not going to be any more ability to, like, bubble top cut. If that makes sense. So, the top 8 competitors and all competitors with the same number of match points as 8th place, up to a maximum of 32, are going to play an asymmetrical top cut. So, basically, you can't... it's going to be a lot harder to bubble at these events, but it is just going to be like a top... It's going to be like a top 32 cut, assuming that 32 people have the same amount of match points as 8th place, which is probably not reasonable unless it's a crazy amount of people. Which does help a little bit. Like, you're not going to be able to bubble just based on your resistance at all, really, it seems like, which is nice. It's going to be purely based on match points, and resistance are only going to matter for, like, the individual, like, placings, which is good, I think. I think that's a decent change. This is at least a positive change. I think, let's see here. This is going to be for every event. Yeah. It seems like we're going to have slightly less rounds overall, which is both good and bad. So 8 rounds. It looks like it's still an X2 to make day 2 with 8 rounds, which is fine. Most events are going to be 8 rounds or smaller. And then the day 2 rounds are going to be a lot less. Like the Orlando Regional would have only been 3 rounds on day 2. I don't know how many rounds they played on day 2. NAIC would have only been 3 rounds on day 2, I believe. So that's... You know, it's good. You get to, like, keep a little bit of your stamina. Like, making it through all those rounds is not easy. It's definitely something I've been struggling with, so I'm sure it's something that other people are going to struggle with. But less rounds overall is a good change for your stamina. It's a bad change for you can lose less sometimes, which is, you know... But it's not going to be a fixed, like, number of points. It just seems like 8th place. So if, like, a bunch of people did really bad on day 2, then, like... You can still make 8th place and still make it to the asymmetrical top cut, which is nice. Obviously, we're still going to have online competitions. Unite is still going to... It looks like Unite's structure is actually staying exactly the same. I don't know if that's good or bad. Let me know, Unite people, down in the comments. They did announce some of the regionals and special events. We got Baltimore. We've got an event in Westfalenhallen, Germany. This is in Brazil, which is cool. We have a special event in Peru. We've got Kentucky. We have the Lille Regional, which we have like every year. This one's in Poland, which is interesting. Special event in Buenos Aires. California Regional in Sacramento. Another regional in Germany gets 2 regionals. That's interesting. A special event in Colombia. And then this regional in Canada. Obviously, this isn't all the regionals. These are just the regionals for the 2024 season. For the 2024 half of the 2025 season. Yeah. So, like, obviously we'll get more regionals. I'm sure that we'll have, you know, like a regional in Orlando again. We'll have a regional in, you know, like San Antonio. Like all the places we usually have regionals, I'm sure we'll have regionals. But maybe we'll get some new ones in some new places, and that'll be nice for some people. Just a little bit of accessibility for how unaccessible it all seems to be overall right now. They announced the international championships are going to be the same. Let's see. Yeah. So they announced the dates and the locations for the international championships right now. So if you want to book a ticket, to like stay over near the Ernest N. Morial Convention Center for the North American National Championships, you could do that right now. And it would probably be really cheap, and that helps. But like, obviously, your registration is not guaranteed for that event. So you know, hopefully, like we get the events to be bigger so that at least the regionals and ICs can hold more people, because people are gonna have to travel a lot more and go to these events. But yeah, that's all the changes. If you want the quick version of it, here at the end, basically only 75 people from North America, 75 people from Europe, 50 people from Latin America, and 20 people from Oceania will be able to go to the World Championships next year for a total of, I think that's like 195, which is a weird number. It should be 200. But then, you know, all the people that qualify from regionals will get to go too. It's going to be a very small Worlds compared to this year. This year, more people from just North America qualified than that. So it's going to be a very small Worlds next year, wherever they decide to host it. Hopefully it's not Hawaii again. And the same is true, it seems, for like TCG and Go. Like, it's smaller on average. And that just sucks. It's going to be so much harder to qualify for Worlds this year. I really wanted to make a big push, but like, I don't know if I have it in me. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I can do it. And that's just such a bad feeling to have. And hopefully you're not feeling that way too, because I honestly feel like crap. I almost didn't make this video because I just felt so bad. I didn't know if I could get angry about it on camera because I feel so bad. But that's it. If you enjoyed this video, leave the likes, leave the comments, go ahead and subscribe. I do news updates like this every so often when I feel like the news needs to be out there. But with that, everyone, my name is Andrew. I'll catch you guys next time. Once upon a time, man, I heard that I was struggling. Came from a gym where power creep wasn't coming in. Face long, stats tight, defense up, shack height. Sturdy on me, sash like, got the TM last night. Hit me with that good move, make this mount act right. Bast boys, bout to hit that builder. I know that's right. Big Bast busting out these body presses, bout to buy a body bag and